Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the 44th Annual Fall Convocation. Each year, we gather to welcome our incoming students and recognize individuals who contribute to excellence from across the University of Houston community through the Interdisciplinary and Collaborative Honors College. I'm Heidi Apple, the new dean. I started in this role July 1st, so the beginning of the semester has special significance and meaning to me too. It is a privilege and an honor to be in charge to lead one of the best honors colleges in the country. I'm excited to support its bright future together with all of you. Before our program gets started this evening, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge a few special guests. First, President Renu Katur and Dr. Suresh Katur. Provost Diane Chase and Dr. Alden Chase. And Regent Milad Ziai, who is our Student Board of Trustees regent and an honors student. Thank you for joining us this evening. Will the class of 2027 please stand? You are our largest ever incoming class. We recognize your outstanding accomplishments that have brought you to this day. We're excited for the personal and intellectual growth you're about to begin at the University of Houston. We're so glad you're here. Will the current honors students, faculty, and staff please stand? This evening, we recognize your hard work and accomplishments. We recognize your hard work and accomplishments, which create the vitality of the honors experience available to students across all disciplines. University administrators and friends, we're so glad you can join us this evening in this celebration. It takes a campus to raise an honor student. Their success is your success, supported by the many interdisciplinary and collaborative partnerships honors has across the UH campus. As a way to celebrate those partnerships, let's take a moment for a roll call of the leaders and students, faculty, and staff of each college who are present. Those with undergraduate programs, of course. I'd ask the leaders, students, and faculty and staff of each college that I mentioned to stand briefly for applause. From the Gerald D. Hines College of Architecture and Design, Dean Patricia Belnoliver. From the Catherine G. McGovern College of the Arts, we have the Moores School of Music Director, Brian Chin. From the C.T. Bauer College of Business, Dean Paul Pavlou. From the College of Education, Dean Kathy Horn. From the College of Engineering, Senior Associate Dean J.R. Rao. From the Hobby School of Public Affairs, Dean Jim Granato. From the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, Associate Dean Dr. Connolly. From the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, Dean Dan Wells. From the Andy and Barbara Gessner College of Nursing, Clinical Associate Professor Danielle Quintana. And all that's left is the Conrad N. Hilton College of Global Hospitality and Leadership. And unfortunately, Dean Dennis Reynolds couldn't be with us tonight. If there are any students from that college, we celebrate you too. Last, I want to acknowledge our closest neighbor and partner whose work supports each one of the colleges. Athena Jackson, the Dean of the M.D. Anderson Library. We have a few alumni here. I think maybe more than a few. Will the alumni of the Honors College please stand? Honors is a commitment to an examined life and community service that continues well beyond graduation. You all are a testament to that. Our speaker, Safa Ansori Baigon, embodies this commitment in her young and already distinguished career, which you'll hear about in a moment. Will the members of the Honors College Advisory Board please stand? We thank you for the examples of success you represent and your work on our behalf. I am now honored to welcome Renu Couture to the podium. As president of the University of Houston and chancellor of the University of Houston system, her fearless leadership has made the university an institution of first choice for outstanding faculty, staff, and students, and a source of pride and positivity in the city and the nation. For that, we thank her, and once again, welcome her.
Well, good evening, everyone, and how about a big hand to Dean Apple here? Well, we are so happy that you've joined us. You will find this to be a fabulous, fabulous place if you have not yet already. So, are you ready for the semester, for the year? Awesome. Has anybody seen me before in any of the classes this week? Yes, some of you have seen me. Okay, a lot of you have not seen me because I have been visiting classes where freshmen would be with very particular message, and I don't have to give that message here for sure. Why? Because you are the best of the best. You're the smartest one. You're the organized ones. You're the focused ones. You are the leaders here. You do not need for me to tell you, stay on your degree path, or I don't have to tell you, you are going to graduate and graduate in 4 years. Listen to me carefully. We're not talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Why? There are only 4 names there. There's a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. There is no name for 5th or 6th or 7th year. You know that. Your degree is for 4 years, and you will be the centennial class. Think about it. When you graduate in 2027, that will be University of Houston's 100th year. You will graduate among all the celebrations, so do not delay your graduation. I want to see you on that stage, okay? In 4 years from now, I don't have to tell you to get engaged or get involved in a smaller settings because you already are part of the Honors College. I don't have to really tell you that do not take excess credit hours because you are already smart and organized. So I thought, what is it that I can tell you? First of all, welcome and thank you so much for choosing the University of Houston. With your brilliant record, I know you could have gone anywhere in the country, anywhere. However, you are so smart that you chose the right university to come to, the best university that gives you the best opportunity. And I don't say it because I'm president here. I say it because I have been a part of this organization and this city for 15 and a half years now in this role. I would not be doing this for this long if I didn't truly believe that this is the place to be. It's not because I didn't have opportunities, it's because this is the place to be. This place is a global city with a phenomenal vibrancy, incredible diversity, so many opportunities for you to get involved, expert faculty who come here and who really inspire you. So I know you're going to be successful. Well, let me just say something, which is, first of all, this honors college is truly special. Our two daughters went to honors college at a university, I won't name it, and I was provost of a university where there was a fantastic honors college too, but nothing like this one. When I went there to visit this honors college 15 years ago, they gave me this whole stack of books that you're going to read for human situations. You know, I couldn't even carry them. I mean, I couldn't even hold them, forget about carrying them. And I know you're going to be reading them. And I know you're going to be so smart. You think you're smart today, you're going to come out way smarter than anybody else. But here is the thing. You have come here with your dream. Your dream is to really get a fantastic education here and get out there and be successful. And I want you to be millionaires and billionaires because I have vested interest. If you earn a lot of money, you're going to come back and donate, right? The university. So I know you have come with that dream, but just know one thing. A dream without passion is only a nightmare because you never can be successful in it. So you have brought a dream. Make sure you put your passion, because that passion is something that will give you more energy to continue moving forward. It will make sure you never quit, no matter what kind of hardships you get. So make sure you have dream, you have passion. And also always follow these two things with humility. Always remember, today also, that there have been so many people who have supported this journey that you have been on. You are here because of all those people who have traveled with you on your journey because they believe in you and they believe in your dream. Always remain humble. But that particular knowledge also gives you an obligation, and I want to remind you of that obligation today because I need your help in getting this university where it is going now. It is already a Tier 1 university. We already have a Phi Beta Kappa chapter. We have a medical school. Now we are part of the Big 12 athletics. Anybody like athletics? Yes. So we are already there. We are now taking this institution to be the top 50 universities in the country and also to get into the academic powerhouse, which is the AAU, or the Association of American University. We are going to do that because we want to make sure the value of your degree continues to improve every single day. So what is that obligation I need? And this comes from your sense of humility and recognition that other people have helped you to get where you are, and they'll continue to help you where you are going. When you are successful, which you already are, you have an obligation to pull at least 10 more people, give them support, give them help, and pull them, inspire them, and get them to be successful. You become part of their team to help them realize their dream. You will find during your journey here of 4 years of journey that there are a lot of lot of students here, your fellow students, who might feel lost, who might feel under stress, who might feel anxious, who might feel academically unprepared. If you find somebody, lend a helping hand. It will help them, but it will also help you because it will make you a better person. It will give you great gratification. And I know you can do that. You have the capacity. I know honors students, what they do. Honors students excel in their academics, and yet I see them at the football stadium with all those names painted there. That's the honors college students. I know that. So you all are everywhere. You are winning championships in debate through debate teams. You are winning Fulbrights. You're winning national awards. You can do way more than what is on your plate just academically. So make sure that you are giving that helping hand and you are helping others succeed. I'll leave you with what I always told our daughters as they were going through their education. They went through 6-year BSMD program, came out with MD at the age of 23. And I told them a couple of things, but then I gave them the big advice. So a couple of things I told them: if you want to do 6 years, your program, condense it from 8 years, make sure every semester you take Shakespeare. Because I know that is not every semester, sorry, every spring you take Shakespeare. And I say every fall you're going to take a course in women's studies because I want you to know what is your power inside of you. So make sure you know how strong you are. Whatever kind of course helps you, do that. But the advice I gave them is that don't ever expect life to be easy. Anybody can do that. Expect life to be rewarding. So work toward making it a rewarding life. I know you will do that. You will be the sense of pride for us. We have successful alumni here. I wish you all the best, and I welcome the new ones here. You are going to be here, enjoy it, and you are always going to do something on Fridays. What are you going to do? Wear red on Fridays because this city, this region needs to know who owns it. And that is the red color that owns it here. So with that, go Cougs!
Thank you, President Couture, for your inspiring words. Our students, our alumni, our faculty, and our staff are grateful for your vision for the University of Houston and for the strides we've made under your leadership. My name is Stuart Long, and I serve as Associate Dean of Undergraduate Research in the Honors College and for the rest of the university as well. It's my honor this evening to introduce tonight's musical performers. Our vocalist tonight is Anthony Nevitt. Anthony is a sophomore in the Honors College and in the Catherine G. McGovern College of the Arts, where he's majoring in vocal performance in the Moore School of Music. I first heard Anthony sing last year at the Honors College Traditional Honors Retreat held at Camp Allen near Navasota, Texas. As part of the retreat, there's a talent show called the Honors Follies. It's often a mixture of comedy sketches and musical performances presented by our talented students. Imagine, if you will, immediately following a comedy sketch by upper-class counselors, a young freshman standing in front of a packed auditorium with his peers, perhaps dressed in shorts and a t-shirt, as they mostly are, and belting out the most amazing arias. Little did I know at the time that this impressive young man was already an accomplished graduate of the Fort Worth Academy of the Arts and an award-winning performer recognized by the Dallas High School Musical Theater Awards. He would go on during his freshman year here to appear in the Moore School productions of Die Fledermaus and Sondheim on Sondheim, and to complete the International Canto Roti choral competition in the Netherlands as part of U of H's concert chorale. Anthony is accompanied this evening by Suji Kim, a talented pianist in her own right, who is pursuing her master's degree here in the Moore School in piano performance. Suji's accomplishments include being selected to perform at the Nebraska Rising Stars concert at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, winning the concerto aria competition at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, and performing with the Heartland Philharmonic Orchestra and being recognized in the American Protégé Music Competition, resulting in her performance at a winner's recital at Carnegie Hall. It is my great pleasure to welcome Anthony and Suji to the convocation stage. Thank you.
That was absolutely beautiful. You are both so talented. I am Allison Leland. I'm a law and politics professor here in the Honors College. Welcome to the new students, our first-year students, and our returning students. We are so excited to begin this new year with you. Tonight, you are going to meet a very special Honors College graduate, Safa Ansari Bayegan. It is not hard for me, or Professor Morrison, Dr. Roden, Dr. Long, or other honors faculty members to remember freshman Safa, our former student, literally sitting in your very seats. Safa's journey from those seats began as an honors college student, and then to London, and Lubbock, to Berkeley, and then Georgetown. A journey that began here, honing her skills as the multidimensional and gifted lawyer she is today with the DC Public Defender's Office. As you listen to her speak, you may be tempted to think, well, that's never going to happen to me. And in a sense, you're right. Not Safa's journey, but the one that you are meant to take. This year is the beginning of that for all of you. So listen to her story and begin imagining your own. For example, in a short 10 years, 2033, you can be convocation speaker. And now it is with enormous pride that I introduce to you Safa Ansari Bayegan.
Good evening. I want to say thank you for the invitation to speak to you tonight at Convocation. Welcome to all of the students in the room, faculty, staff, parents, friends, and community members. It is a pleasure to be back on campus and to speak to you tonight. Convocation is a special occasion and one that I remember fondly as marking the beginning of the academic year, and especially for the freshmen in the room, marking the beginning of your college journey. It is still hard for me to believe that it has been a decade since I sat in your chair as an honors college student, though if I'm not mistaken, our convocations were held across campus in the Hilton College Ballroom, which, given the audience size, I take it we have far outgrown as a college. Since graduating from the University of Houston in 2013, I have had wonderful opportunities and experiences across the United States and abroad. But it is my time here on this campus, and particularly in this college, that has been the foundation of everything that has come since. Every success that I have had in this time, I owe in some part to the mentors that I gained as an honors college student. And it seems appropriate to begin with how I came to be an honors college student, and actually just how close I came to not becoming a part of this special community. When I was applying for college, I cast a wide net and I thought that I would leave Texas for college. Having grown up in Houston, going to a French school, I had my eyes set on an international relations career. And I was particularly keen to land in Washington, D.C., which ironically is where I am now, albeit not doing anything remotely close to diplomacy. I remember receiving my letter of admission to the University of Houston in the mail, and soon after, my college counselor excitedly telling me in the hallway I had been accepted to honors. For a variety of reasons, it became clear, much to my mother's delight, that I would most likely be staying in Texas for college. So my father made the wise suggestion that we should visit campus. We came to campus, we walked around, found Agnes Arnold Hall, where I would take political science classes, and on our way back to the car, spotted the MD Anderson Library, and completely accidentally out of the corner of our eye, noticed the Honors College sign. I was fully ready to end our tour at that point, but my father suggested that we go inside. I was a little hesitant to enter the college, unexpected and unannounced, but I was an admitted student after all, so surely this would be fine. Next thing we knew, an Honors College ambassador was giving us a tour. We began in the Honors Commons, went by the Estes Library, along the fishbowl classrooms, to the computer lab, and then we finished our tour in Sarah Bojani's office, who was the then director of admissions. I don't know that Sarah remembers this conversation at all, but if she does, she may not remember it as vividly as I do. We had a wonderful conversation. I learned more about the college, and at the end of our discussion, a question that I asked Sarah prompted her to look my application up in the system. And she very sweetly, but with a look of concern, let me know that there must be some confusion. I had not been admitted to the Honors College. In fact, my application had yet to be reviewed by the committee. It had been marked incomplete. My $50 check that was part of the application fee had not been received. My father, who always carries his checkbook, and he's in the audience tonight, and I certainly hope he has his checkbook on him this evening, quickly wrote a check. And as we walked out of the office, completely stunned at this news, I felt dejected. And after catching a glimpse of what my time in honors could be like, I just hoped that there was a chance I'd still be considered. Now, as you probably guessed, I was admitted, and I did in fact attend the Honors College. However, I will say that in the first few weeks in college, and maybe even the first few months, I felt some doubt about whether or not I had landed in the right place. A sense of overwhelm as I attended my first human situation lectures on Homer's The Odyssey. Some real intimidation in discussion with Dr. Morrison. And lack of clarity on what it would take for me to harness this new thing called college. If some of you are feeling similarly or have some trepidation around what the next few weeks may feel like, rest assured that is completely normal. And I will not stand up here and tell you to stop feeling that way, but I will affirm that you are not alone and that this feeling won't last forever. I will also say that doubt will likely return, as will new fears along the way. I was a strong student in high school and thought I knew how to study and excel, and certainly thought that I knew how to read and write well. I was very mistaken. As the weeks went by, I began to recognize that there would be a need for me to shift my approach and consider doing things differently than I had in high school. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But in my case, I realized that my old ways weren't fully serving me anymore, or at least that my new environment and the opportunities that I was being presented with on this campus and in this college would require me to stretch myself in new ways and go deeper than before. You may encounter the same. And to seize that opportunity, I had to be willing to be uncomfortable and willing to own up to the fact that I had a lot to learn. This willingness opened me up to an ability to be much more curious, much more present, and less focused on my grade or some sort of other desired outcome for my future self. Especially for the freshmen in the room who are taking the Human Situation course, I urge you to lean into this experience. For some of you, and dare I say most of you, reading Sophocles, Plato, and Euripides is not something that you would voluntarily sign up to do. But while you're here, challenge yourself to not just get through the reading that is assigned for lecture and discussion. Rather, I urge you to pay close attention to the words that you are reading, to the claims that are being made, the questions that the text raises. Pay attention to the way that your professors are constructing their lectures, and to the way that those lectures are in conversation with each other. And befriend your classmates. Talk to them about what you are reading. Struggle through understanding the texts together. Some of my fondest memories of all of college are of the times that I spent at Black Hole Coffee House over in Montrose, and some of you are in the room tonight, agonizing over these texts, poring over these texts together, because we had to write a paper for Human Situation. And we struggled. We struggled a lot. And that struggle led to intellectual growth. And that growth is what has been instrumental in my success. I have now gone on to several graduate universities, including the London School of Economics, Berkeley Law, Georgetown Law. And the skills I developed in the Human Situation by fretting over developing an interesting argument in Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations, and supporting that argument in my textual reading, and then pursuing a philosophy major and a phronesis minor, are what have carried me through. My ability to understand how arguments are constructed, how to critically examine them and engage in meaningful conversations about the questions that they raise, and have the confidence in my writing, I owe to this college, and especially to Dr. Morrison. And please don't think for 1 minute that the only reason why these skills are relevant to me is because I became a lawyer. These skills will serve each and every one of you, no matter what you decide to do. They are not just relevant to any career that you choose, but to the way that you relate to and understand the world and people around you, including being a responsible citizen of this democracy that we live in. So while I wasn't entirely sure when I began college if I had landed in the right place, I did come to realize, fortunately, rather quickly, that it was exactly where I needed to be, and have thought many times about how fortuitous that accidental saunter into the college and conversation with Sarah Bojani turned out to be. Now, I intend to not go on for too long this evening, but I can't quite stop there. I have a few more pieces of advice to share. As a public defender, I have the privilege of fighting alongside people accused of crime by a deeply flawed system, and have been focusing the last few years on helping to decarcerate our prisons by representing individuals who committed serious offenses in their youth and young adulthood in resentencing motions. All to say, I write a lot, but I don't write many speeches. I tell a lot of stories, but rarely my own. My work does require me to find compelling ways to share evidence and arguments with judges. So I decided tonight not to stray too far from what trial advocacy has taught me, which is the rule of threes. That is to identify 3 specific reasons, and only 3 reasons, supporting the relief or outcome that you seek. So I have attempted to distill the rest of my message to you in 3 and only 3 pieces of advice. The first, whether you are sitting here with a crystal clear plan of what the next 2, 3, 4 years will look like, or don't feel like you have a plan at all, my advice remains the same. Stay flexible and open to unexpected detours along the way. I will be honest, you are looking at a planner. Since I can remember, I've had a roadmap for the next few years, and this has helped me stay motivated and mitigate the anxiety that I feel around notions of success and maximizing my own potential. And maybe you can relate to that anxiety. Although I certainly came into college with a plan, I have embraced when that plan changed, sometimes in very unexpected ways, and this has been one of the biggest gifts. Embracing unexpected twists and turns does require some flexibility, which is a skill that I would encourage you to cultivate. Some of you in this room may have already experienced the way that life can throw you curveballs, and your ability to adjust and reframe is critical. You're in the perfect place to develop the skill of adaptation. When I came back to Houston after completing my master's in London, I had my eyes set on a prestigious pre-law fellowship. I knew the application process would be competitive, but the opportunity to work with this organization seemed like the natural next step in my plan to further explore criminal law before going to law school. And frankly, I thought it would look really good on a resume. As I was about to interview for that position, I received an email from the then Chief Public Defender for the Regional Public Defender's Office in Lubbock, Texas, saying he'd spoken to an attorney that I had worked with while I was an undergraduate at the University of Houston, who said that I might be interested in a position as a mitigation specialist in his office. And a mitigation specialist is a sort of life historian for individuals who are facing the death penalty. He basically told me, check our website, let me know if you're interested. When I called my recommender to learn a little bit more, since this was all news to me, she told me that she had the utmost confidence that I could do the job and that I absolutely should apply. I was completely intimidated by the idea and keenly aware that this was not the plan. And it would also mean foregoing the pre-law fellowship. But I thought back to my time at the University of Houston and to the many unexpected detours along my academic journey that proved to be so valuable to my growth. I pursued the mitigation specialist job, and while it was not what I had dreamed up for myself and never would have been something that I would have applied for or taken the leap of faith to do on my own, it proved to be the exact right detour on my way to law school. The second piece of advice is to be persistent and never be the one to count yourself out of an opportunity. You are going to hear no, and that's a good thing to learn how to take. In fact, I'm here to tell you that it's understandable that we all fear failure to some degree. In fact, many people let failure, or that fear of failure, dictate how they live their lives. Do not be one of those people. In the fall of my freshman year, I took a political science course with Professor Leland, in which we debated controversial topics to get to the heart of the role of government. Admittedly, 10 years later, I can only remember one of the topics we debated, and that was the death penalty. This was the beginning of my awakening to the problems in our criminal legal system. And as part of that class, Professor Leland invited a young attorney who worked at a local nonprofit organization called Texas Defender Service to speak to our class about her own path and career and the heavy work that she was doing to fight to stop executions, what we call crisis death penalty litigation. In passing, she mentioned that if anyone was interested, they could apply to intern with her office. Now, I just told you I was a planner. In that moment, my plan began to write itself. I was absolutely going to apply to intern with that office the next summer. And I did. I applied, I interviewed, and I didn't get the internship. I was crushed. I shared this with my mentors and devised a new plan. I applied for a summer undergraduate research fellowship and went back to the Texas Defender Service the following summer with funding to do any research that they might need me to do, in the hopes that I could offer them something and get my foot in the door. I convinced them to hire me, and I think it was in part because the attorney who'd visited our class a year prior recognized my persistence. I did a lot of scanning of documents for the first few weeks, which was obviously not the most glamorous of work assignments, but eventually was entrusted with higher stakes projects, including visiting clients on Texas death row in Livingston, Texas. Given my complete lack of legal skills, these legal visits began largely as social. Although I had the occasional case update for them, the goal was mainly to get them out of their cells and have a conversation with them person to person. This very human introduction to the work cemented my approach to advocacy and informs my practice to this day. My summer came to an end, and my research was complete, research that would end up being the subject of my senior honors thesis in the Honors College. But because I was local to Houston and had the time to fit it into my schedule, I got to stay on throughout the rest of my undergraduate career, which allowed me to take on more substantive roles on cases at the Texas Defender Service, leading to my involvement in a case that went to the Supreme Court of the United States. and to Professor Leland and I standing outside of the Supreme Court at 4 a.m. to get tickets to hear the oral argument in DC. After which, I met a fellow lawyer for coffee, who 6 years later became my husband. I don't know where I would be today if it weren't for Professor Leland, her seminar, and if I had taken the first no as the final answer. I can think of many other times in honors where my mentors encouraged me to go for things that I thought were far outside of my reach. Some of them turned out to be, but I gained so much from trying. And other times I was surprised to be selected. I encourage you to get to know Dr. Rader, apply for the major awards, as well as the more obscure opportunities that come your way. There is a tremendous benefit in working through these applications, and you never know what might happen. Just last week, I was debating whether to apply for a supervisor role at my current job, and had to remind myself of my own advice. Don't be the one to take yourself out of the running. Imposter syndrome may kick in, self-doubt may rear its ugly head, but you are in a supportive environment here in honors, and I would encourage you to lean on the people around you and take risks. The third and final piece of advice is to embrace your community and find a way to give back that is meaningful to you. Now, I know one of the biggest challenges as an honors college student is finding time to fit everything that you want to do into your schedule and dealing with the persistent feeling of being too busy. And what is so fortunate is that there are so many ways to get involved with both the honors college and the larger campus. Be active. Travel with the college if you can. Take the course that has nothing to do with your major or anything you've ever encountered before. Although I did move away from that initial plan to pursue an international career, I am so grateful that I took Dr. Mietjan Faber's course on human security, which explored what happens to the fabric of human society during times of war and military intervention. Dr. Faber, who is greatly missed, would visit the Honors College yearly from the Netherlands, where he was from, to teach this course. Through taking his classes and getting to know him, I was invited along with 3 other Honors College students to travel with him to Bosnia and join a graduate seminar conference on the Srebrenica genocide of 1995. I am not exaggerating when I say that this experience was monumental and will stay with me for the rest of my life. I am also here to tell you that the time that you put into volunteering and giving back to this community will pay dividends in multiple ways. First and foremost, there are so many people in the greater Houston area who need help, and for you to be able to provide that assistance, which can take on many forms, can be life-changing for them. But you too will receive benefits as these experiences will help you develop. Invariably, this will cause you to leave your comfort zone, to meet new people, and have experiences that you've never had before. And we would be blind to overlook the fact that we are living in a time of divisive local and national politics. But what I predict that you will find is that helping people is the type of experience that surmounts and transcends these differences and brings people together regardless of ideological differences. And we could use more of that. Admittedly, that was far more than 3 pieces of advice. But if one thing has stuck with you, I will consider my job done. Once again, welcome to the class of 2027. I'm excited for the special journey you are all embarking on. Thank you for having me this evening. And in the words of Honors College founding Dean Ted Estes, be well.
Thank you, Safa, for your inspiring words. We are so thankful that you were able to come down from DC to speak with us tonight at the Honors Convocation. Dr. Jonathan Williamson, our Associate Dean of Faculty Affairs and Academic Programming, has a small token of our appreciation for you. Included are several texts representing the Honors College's signature course, The Human Situation, which Safa knows she took, as all of our honors students do, at the start of her honors career. Please join me in one more round of applause for Safa Ansari Bayegan. My name is Brenda Roden, and I am the Honors College's Assistant Dean for Student Success. Woo! We have now reached our recognition portion of the ceremony this evening, and it is my pleasure to recognize a number of talented University of Houston students. As I call out each group, please stand and remain standing until I finish and ask you to be seated. As I will be listing several groups, I will ask that you hold your applause until we reach the end of each set of recognitions. Each year, we identify our very best first-year students. We recognized them individually last spring at the Undergraduate Scholars and Major Awards Dinner, but I would ask for the outstanding first-year students to stand and be recognized. You may be seated. Next, we would like to recognize all of our scholarship recipients. This includes Tier 1, the Terry Foundation, National Merit, Academic Excellence, and all other scholarship recipients. Please stand. Please be seated. Would all students who participated in undergraduate research programs, including PERS, SURF, HERE, Mellon Research Scholars, Houston Scholars, Energy Scholars, Ferris Fellows, and other undergraduate research activities, please stand, and let's give them all a hand. You may be seated. And finally, please stand if you are a member of Phi Beta Kappa, Phi Kappa Phi, or Omicron Delta Kappa, the National Honor Societies facilitated by the Honors College. Please also stand if you have found success as a recipient or honoree of a nationally competitive fellowship or scholarship. The list of these scholarships is available in your program. Many of these students, as you might imagine, are currently abroad and benefiting from the experiences of their awards and they're making possible. Please join me in a round of applause for everyone.
Thank you, Dean Roden. My name is Jonathan Williamson, and I'm in the Honors College's Associate Dean for Academic Programs and Faculty Affairs. It is now my pleasure to recognize the 2022-2023 Frameworks Fellows. With the support of peers and dedicated faculty mentors, these intrepid undergraduates took on the hard work of developing skills and habits necessary to produce high-quality humanities research. Could the fellows please stand? The theme of this year's journal was Constellation, and copies of this year's Frameworks Journal with essays on topics ranging from Alexander the Great to the Lion King will be handed to you on your way out this evening, or you may have picked them up on your way in. Congratulations, Framework Fellows, on your publication, and let's give them another round of applause. Each year at Convocation, we award the Frameworks Prize for Excellence. This year, an honorable mention goes to Nine Abad for an article entitled A Nation of Suns and Stars, the Santo Niño de Cebu in Colonial Narratives of Filipino Identity. Congratulations, Nine. And the 2023 Frameworks Prize for Excellence in Undergraduate Research in the Interdisciplinary Humanities goes to Kalina Holman for Catabasis in the Black Diaspora, Dante's Pilgrim in Ellison's Invisible Man, and Walcott's Ameros. Well done, Kalina. Kalina, stand up. Congratulations. Now I'd like the following groups of students to stand and to remain standing. Please stand if you're a student in the Bonner Leaders Program. If you participate in the speech and debate program, which, as the president indicated, is now the largest policy debate program in the country. If you participated in one of the model debate programs, including Model United Nations, Model G20, and Model Arab League. Please also stand if you participated in a Learning Away or Learning Abroad program, including trips to the Galapagos Islands and to Jordan. And let's recognize all the great work these students have been doing during their time in the University of Houston and in the Honors College. Moving now to the people who teach and serve those great students, I'd ask the following faculty whose work has been recognized with an award in the last year to stand and again to remain standing. The Ted Estes Award winner for academic leadership recognized the work of Rita Sharp. The Vince and Louise Foster Award for teaching excellence went to David Rainbow. The Matthew B. and Tamara Steele Award for teaching excellence recognized the teaching of Marcia Cowell. The B. and Key Wong Faculty Engagement Award went to Ben Rader. And last, the Lerner Family Fellowship recognized the work of Michelle Belko and Dustin Gish. Thank you, and you can be seated. Finally, I'd like to recognize the contributions of the many faculty and staff from across the university through their valuable efforts as mentors to our students in and out of the classroom. If you've mentored any of our students in any fashion, please stand so that we can acknowledge your contributions in every way that you make them. Thank you all for your commitment to teaching, your service, and your dedication to our great students.
Well, that's a lot of clapping, isn't it? A lot of celebrating. As you can see, it does take a campus to raise an honor student, and it takes excellence to raise excellent students. We are so glad you've all been here to share our celebration of both. As we conclude our program, we ask that students exit the auditorium to the right to pick up your gift and snack bag on your way out of the building to go back to the Honors College for game night. All other guests, please turn to the left as you exit the auditorium to join us for a reception. Now, I think we need to go out with a rounding Whose House led by some of our honor students. Whose house? Whose house? Thank you. Good evening, everyone.